All right, guys, it's Paul Singh, the market speculator, with the trade report for Tuesday, September 6, 2017. Recording this in the evening, so if anything changes in the morning, I'll send a note out or a video out. But let's take a look at what was a volatile day today. And even though we were down 0.72%, I actually got in a discussion, a little bit of a disagreement with a trading buddy before recording this video here. And what we were arguing over was whether today was a good day or a bad day. And I would say today, even though we're down 0.7%, it was a pretty good day in that, you know, most things didn't get crushed. Pretty scary news over the weekend, type of news that the market can react very strongly to, and Asia did. And we're handling this better than Asia, and it kind of makes sense considering how, you know, it's right in their area and we're farther away. But at the same time, we could have really tumbled today, and at one point in the day we did start to. So if we look at SPY here, down to the 50-day moving average, and take a look at how so many of our pullbacks stop at key levels before reversing, or at least making a little bounce and then coming down. Those of you who are day traders know this, and you can trade around these levels very well. But for us, just analyzing, that's what we want to do. We want to see how the market is reacting to these key levels. So if we look at SPY here, went right to the 50-day moving average, which also corresponds with kind of a range being the old high here, and essentially right in that area, bounced. And where did it bounce to? Right above the 9 EMA, two key levels that we watch. So I do like that we held up. We didn't close near the lows. I would be not only would I be more bearish if we closed near the lows, say at 245, I would probably have lightened up on my positions even though they hadn't hit stops yet. So got stopped at a WTW today, and actually went even almost a point below where we stopped out from. But the other four positions, if we would have closed near the lows, I was ready to lighten up. I wouldn't have got out of everything. I would have probably kept race. Facebook and Netflix, I think, well, actually, I don't know which, maybe Netflix or Facebook, one of those I would have lightened up on. But since we closed positive, I decided to hold. Now, in this environment, anything can change. So while the market is closed, if we get some bad news, the market could tumble. But just basing it on price action itself, this is pretty constructive. And, you know, last week was a very good week. We essentially only gave back a day and a half of gains here. So not really a big deal at this point, 0.72. And remember, what I always say is it's not really significant unless it's more than 1%. Ended up at 0.72%. So we're all right there. The Qs, same thing. Tried to break down below the 9 with a pretty hefty move to the downside, even more than SPY, and then closed at 0.9, way above the 9 and above this gap that it filled today. So this is a good sign for the market. So price action wise, these things are good. What happened today, and, you know, nothing really too extreme in most of the stocks we watch here. Obviously a lot of red, but nothing too bad here. So pretty good day. IBB, and, you know, we can take advantage of this if the market does rebound. IBB finally stalled after this amazing run here. And what I really liked is I did miss the move in this account. But a number of you went off the trade report advice and took it on the break and had fantastic gains. That makes me happy. And I'm glad that you don't just follow the traders alerts. What I like even more is when you guys listen to the report, look at the focus lists, and then make your own decisions, even if I don't take something. And that's what you should be doing. That's kind of the whole point of the report. So that's great that a lot of you guys took this biotech trade and beat me on this. So that's fantastic. But right now, what I'd like to see with biotech is a consolidation here. And again, we always have two ways to play these. Either they consolidate high and break the high and we can get in if it crosses the, say, 336 mark, or it pulls back some more, maybe to the old high here or to the 9, and then holds that level, and we could always get back in. So if you feel like you've missed a move, there's always a second move you can trade. So whether it's a short or a long. So we're going to watch for that. So we're watching biotech very closely. Gold has been running here. We'll look for a pullback. JNUG also very strong. Brazil Brazil still on fire, even though it closed way off its highs, and that's kind of a negative candle. It's still up almost 1%. So we want to see, I'm hoping this is a little bit of a mini reversal. We get a pullback, and then we can get in at some point. So a couple of other sectors to pay attention to that we have not been paying attention to. One is energy has been picking up, maybe bottoming here. I'd like to see a cross of the 50-day moving average. So ERX, the leveraged ETF, is going to go on our watch list. And we haven't talked about this in maybe a month or so, month and a half. Home builders have been bouncing off this low here. This is the ETF, and was really strong today. Showed relative strength to the market. While it was down here, it closed up 0.3%. Not up, but down 0.3%, which beat both SPY and the Qs significantly. So that's something to keep an eye on. Let's watch how some of these home building stocks react, like Toll, DHI, Len. There's a bunch of them here. Len's been showing relative weakness of late, but maybe it could bounce. But we'll keep an eye on that. I'm not putting them on my focus list yet. I want to see some more evidence of strength, but we are watching that. Current positions, they all pulled back here, except FSLR. So, but they, Netflix, 0.13%, very good. Facebook, and held the 9. Facebook, 0.76, right in with SPY, but beating the Qs, and Key holding the 9. That's what we want to see. Race, still way above our entry. Entry was what, 111. We're at 116, and an inside day, which is usually a positive. So, and holding the 9 easily. So we just need that one push in race, and we've got our profit there. And then FSLR showed significant relative strength there. Essentially break even, but it's nice to see it green like this on a very red day. So if the market rebounds, hopefully we again get that push here. We've been holding FSLR for a while, but as long as it holds our levels, I'm going to keep holding it. So that's the current positions. Let's get to the focus list. Before I do that, key thoughts going in to tomorrow in the next few days. Watch the key levels in stocks and the markets and see how price is reacting to that. That's basically what we based our analysis today, and we saw that we held the key levels. And then watch how the market reacts to these geopolitical events. Is it holding up well even on down days, or is it getting really beaten down? And that can help us identify short-term trends and then stay patient. You don't need to make a lot of trades during this period, and even if you want to sit out and just wait for the moment to strike, that's a good way to do it as well, where it's really shaky and we don't know. We can have all the price action analysis in the world, but we can't predict what a country is going to do tonight or tomorrow night. So keep that in mind. Don't get too aggressive during these periods. Okay, I've added a few stocks to the focus list here. UVXY, VIX popping 10%. But in terms of the overall pattern, not too significant. If you wanted, you could put on a little VIX hedge. I have not yet, but just for some protection, for some longs. And don't think, if you get stopped out, it's actually a good thing because it probably means your longs are working. So you can just kind of use it as a hedge, and then if it pops, you can make a nice win out of it as well, which we did a few weeks ago. And that actually ended up being the biggest win of the year. So maybe we can put something on like that, protection, and then potentially a nice win as well. Juno, relative strength, broke out a few days ago. I'm watching for a break of the high here. So if it gets 43.80, 44, I may get in as a swing. I've been day trading it as well, but as a swing, watch for that break of that level. Snap, we've been watching this for a while. I haven't taken the trade yet. I want to see, again, relative strength, 1.5% up today, very significant. Gets up over 1480, I may finally pull the trigger on Snap. ERX, we talked about. Energy, LL, relative strength today. But we always look for relative strength stocks when the market is down. And then yin and yang. So China, FXI. China, Asia is getting hit right now after big runs. Gap down, could reverse very easily. So we'll keep an eye on this, or could continue down. Right now, this is actually a short trigger, kind of a quick runner short. We can do it a couple of ways. You could either, if your broker will allow and has shares available, you can short yin directly, which is my preference, but you can also take the inverse yang here for a quick trade, and maybe I'll pull the trigger on that tomorrow. We'll see. But I'm a little hesitant to do that because, if China, if Asia decides that this is not something to be too concerned about, I think the markets would rally very quickly. So I don't want to get caught in something like that. So right now, maybe I take a small position, but we'll at least be watching this stuff closely. So that's a plan going in tomorrow. Today was really helpful in this is almost like the first day of the week, the way I look at the markets, because we got a little bit of direction today compared to the start of the week. So that's it for the trade report. Again, if anything significant happens in the morning, I will let you guys know.